Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside of Destiny the Taken King. Nick here with Degenerate Gaming. Today, we're going to be doing another weapon review. We're going to be looking at the new Monarchy auto rifle called the Righteous 7. You can see it there on my back. And to get started, we are going to go over here to the exotic blueprints, and we'll compare it to, so you can kind of see what kind of damage profile this thing is comparable to Monte Carlo as far as damage profile. Um, Really not that real high impact, but it's not as low as it could be either. And the fire rate, as you can see, lines up pretty well. The range, stability, and reload obviously are a lot less. With it does have a bigger magazine size. Unfortunately, those perks right there, I'm going to tell you right now, that's what makes Monte Carlo stand out. This, however, can be very solid in the right situations. And we're going to take a trip over to the new Monarchy vendor to kind of show you what he has, the role I got on this, and we'll look at this, stats and see what we kind of want to look for this as far as perks and an attainable role here moving forward. This can be a very solid auto rifle in certain situations. I am not the biggest auto rifle guy to begin with. If I can find one that I enjoy using, um, I will gladly use it. I've used quite a lot more actually in the Taken King than ever before, and that's probably because of the buff. But this thing can be pretty solid. We'll look at the perks that the vendor has. It has the SLO 12, the SPO 28, and the SPO 57 as far as scopes. This one has Sero Stredival and highlights enemy targets. The hollow sights improve target acquisition, and then this is your just regular red dot sight, which improves weapon handling. Now, this thing, when you look at its base stats, the thing that jumps out to me is, wow, that range is terrible. So, um, that's like essentially what we want to look for in perks is something that'll boost range and make this effective at a longer range. Because you want to keep distance between you and your enemies a little bit, especially with auto rifles, as their time to kill in most cases is rather slow compared to your other options, your scout rifles, your pulse rifles. If you get full auto on that, like your Apple at Discord, things of that nature. So this from the vendor, it has perfect balance, which boosts stability. Uh, could be good. I mean, more stability never hurts, especially with auto rifles. But unfortunately, it's really not what we're looking for at this point. It has oiled frame, which really increases your reload speed, and as you can see, really kills the range. That's not what we're looking for either. Lightweight. When this weapon held, it grants bonus agility, more or less like a filler perk. Can be useful in certain situations, but not what we're looking for. Rifle barrel. This thing increases the range and the stability, or excuse me, reduces reload and increases the range quite a bit. So this is what we're looking for. And then it also has glass half full. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is not the one that I have, but this would be pretty good, because it has a stability increase. It does have rifle barrel, and it does have glass half full. So I'm not real too sold on glass half full, but it'll work for a filler perk, and I'm not exactly how sure, or excuse me, I'm not exactly sure how effective glass half full really is. But with these two perks, you basically get two things that you want out of this auto rifle as far as perks go. You get an increase to stability, which again is not necessary, but is nice, and you can look at that increase to range with rifle barrel, and then you get a bonus damage in the bottom half of your magazine, which is huge. So, really the last, 22, 21 bullets of this are going to be doing bonus damage. This is not a bad roll out of the vendor if you're actually looking for one just to go and buy for 150 legendary marks. I, however, got mine out of a new Monarchy package, and this is the one that I have been going with. I typically run the hollow sights with her improved target acquisition, and I like these a little bit better than I like the red dot sights. Feels better. It's a bit more clunky. The red dot sight is very nice. It's very thin, sleek. You don't have a whole lot in your way. But I prefer this with the improved target acquisition, as I feel that you notice a difference. I have Hammer Forge, which has improved range and accuracy, and again, it's really just a small bonus. Nothing really like Rifle Barrel would give me, but it's a nice perk because it increases stability as well. I have Single Point Sling. I have Reinforced Barrel, which really increases the range on this, as you can see, with a big reduction to stability. And I will go in between these perks either way. And it also has rangefinder on this. Aiming this weapon increases its effective range, so you get a bonus to range there. Now, depending on the situation, I am going to run different perks on this, and really it's going to all category. I'm going to run Reinforced Barrel on PvP, and probably Single Point Sling on, Single Point Sling on PvP in the Crucible, just because targets are moving a little quicker there, and you'll see what I mean in the gameplay here. So, without further ado, let's get to that. I'll show you some of that. We got some other things we want to go over, so we'll get to that here shortly. Okay, and getting into PvP play, we're going to do something new here for this review. We're going to do something of a recoil test here. I'm going to show you a few different things with this weapon and the role that I have. You can see it's a little bit, that was kind of a skewed version there, but you see aiming down sights. This thing is pretty accurate. It's pretty much a laser beam between rangefinder and hammer forged. So I'm going to show you the bullet spread with reinforced barrel and also with single point sling, just so you guys kind of get an idea that just because it says big reduced to stability doesn't mean that's always the case. Kind of see that it's more up and down. As opposed to when I put single point sling on, you're gonna see it kind of fading away. But look at just how back and forth that is with single point sling. So I wanted to show you guys that. Keep that in mind, which is why you really need to kind of test these things out for yourself when you get these perks, just to kind of see. Even running single point sling in PVE is not going to be all that good once you do that recoil test and you find that out for yourself. But as you can see, in PVE, I love this gun. It is a laser beam with all these range perks that I have on it and the big clip. It's very effective. The only reason to stop firing this thing is to either aim at a different target or to reload it. It has a huge ammo pool. It's very well designed in the sense. It's not really, the time to kill in PvE is a lot less, so it's very effective. And you'll see it in a couple of clips that I cut up. I mean, it works rather well. We'll get some tier 2 enemies here in this clip, and you'll see that it does a pretty good job of mowing down, I don't even remember what these things are called, these Praetorian goblins, I believe they are. Anyways, even at range, it's pretty good. You can see it's just blowing up juice boxes, popping heads, and I really like this gun in PvE. Time to kill is good. Again, you just have to watch yourself on reloads. Listen, the reload speed is really not awful, but you're going to be reloading this gun a lot just for the sheer rate of fire of it. It's a bullet hose. Not like an Atheon Zeppelog bullet hose, or I forget what the comparative exotic would be. I want to say, Necrochasm, I believe. It's not a bullet hose like that in a sense, but it's pretty close as far as the rate of fire goes. The rate of fire isn't maxed out on this thing, but it's up there, and you're going to be reloading this weapon a lot. That's why that vendor perk with glass half full would be pretty good. Even the vendor weapon is a pretty solid option for this, in my opinion. Boss fights, really not doing a whole lot of damage. I mean, you can see the different damage drop-off points just for the sheer range. And again, I'm not a big auto rifle fan to begin with. But we'll get into some PvP gameplay here. And for PvP, I really wasn't all that impressed with this gun, and I'm still trying to figure out whether it was, you know, of my own volition or if it's just the gun. We talk about time to kill with auto rifles being kind of slow, and it definitely holds true for this thing. You know, it's terrible because your targets are moving a lot faster, so it's harder to keep a beat on them while you're kind of spraying this bullet hose, and it makes it a little bit more difficult to gain kills. I had a lot of matches where I was basically trading kills. If you get into a group of enemies, you know, if you're not in one-on-one situations, basically, you're gonna probably lose those most of the time. Excuse me. It's not the most difficult weapon to use, and again, it could just be me and my inexperience with auto rifles, but a perk like glass half full, like in the vendor, might do you a little more justice in something like PvP, or any type of bonus to impact or damage, because again, the time to kill with this weapon is where I feel it really lacks. My version is not that great for PvP, but all around it's a generally solid auto rifle. Again, I love it in PvP. It's serviceable in Crucible. You can use it, and I think actually looking at it now, I might buy the vendor option of this just to kind of give it a try and see how well it performs compared to the one I have.
You're in the lead.
But you'll see in this clip too, again, in PvP, it's a bit rough to use. You're trading kills. You definitely need to have a good special weapon if you are going to attempt to use this. Again, if you get rushed by a group of enemies, your odds are you're going to get killed. One-on-one situations, the time to kill is still pretty bad, so it's still pretty rough to use. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Very solid all-around auto rifle. And with that, I'm going to probably wrap this up. I'll leave you with the rest of this clip here. And please remember to rate, comment, subscribe, hit that like button if you would, please. And we'll see you on the next one.